What's up, grinders? I hope you've done your grinding today, maybe even got a little bit of a GG rub happening in there, because today we're going to be looking at Duolingo. Is losing users what happened? Now, my engagement with Duolingo, the community itself, actually extends back many years, back to when like Esperanto was first released on the app, or actually even before it was released, probably a year before, where they were building up the course material in order for it to get released. And I was the type of person who loves communities and loves working towards building communities, so I basically I worked with the Duolingo Esperanto community to kind of help it grow through my YouTube channel, and I even went to the point where I got a full-size human costume built in China of the Duolingo owl. It had like a little aircon system in it and everything. Like, you know what? I've got videos on my channel from like ages back. I will slot it down in the pinned comment below where I unveiled this suit. I may even put like a little clip right here.
Saluton! Mi estas Duo! Mi volas mortigi vian tutan familion!
Okay, so now that we've seen that, as you can see, I was pretty involved with the community, and it wasn't because I thought the app was like amazing or anything. It's just that it was a very big app and it was supporting my language and it was bringing new people in, and also it had like a lot of cool features at the time, you know, like the forums and also the event system, and there was just a lot of things that were quite useful, even if the core of the app was just like, okay. But the people who made the Duolingo course for Esperanto, they put their heart and soul into it. And I was quite happy with it until they went fully corporate, got rid of all the actual useful features of the app, cut off the actual people making the courses, and basically just went like full commercialized. And nowadays I really don't care too much for the app because the core of it was not that great to start with, but all the good things that did make it great are no longer there. So let's watch this. I won't go too much further in depth because maybe they're going to cover off what I'm talking about.
Duolingo, the infamous language learning app with its cute but sometimes passive-aggressive owl. Hey, welcome, my name's Rick.
You see how they have a full costume outfit there? I had a full costume outfit for Duolingo way before Duolingo did it. Just saying.
And I'm learning Italian. I've just reached a 600-day streak on Duolingo, but this video was inspired by a conversation that I had with my boss, Michal, a polyglot who just lost a 900-day streak due to a recent change that Duolingo...
Okay, big update on hearts from Duolingo. Many of you who don't have access to the subscription have been deeply frustrated at not being able to get your hearts back after making a mistake. I recently reached out to an employee at Duolingo to get the tea, and here's what's going on. Here's the interesting part. Duolingo has been experimenting with ways to soften the blow. One of the tests allows users with 4 or fewer hearts to watch an ad to instantly refill a heart. Yeah, see... I remember like years ago, after like I stopped using Duolingo, I went back, tried it out a little bit, and there was just so many ads and stuff in there, and I just kind of gave up on it. But the thing I want to talk about here is the streak, because I've made a video on motivation and language learning and how I think with motivation, you need to set yourself goals, obviously do something every day with the language, but you've got to be a little bit liberal with what the actual daily goal is. Because I've seen people who have broken their streaks and literally given up on languages just due to breaking the streak. Like the streak becomes more important than the end goal of learning the language itself, because it's more of a game than actually like learning a language. And I don't like that aspect of it, but obviously for Duolingo, it makes complete sense because it's a way to commercialize, it's a way to keep people coming back to the app and using the app every day.
Made. When I heard about this, I had to ask him, are you still going to use the app? And he replied, no. Michal isn't the only one. You see, recently I've been catching the drift of some hard feelings towards Duolingo.
Sad to say today my streak ends. Ads are not time spent learning well. Not being able to practice earn hearts is truly a turn-off. Duolingo has officially ruined their app by making it near unusable to non-paying customers. Well, this was definitely eventually coming. Basically, the way Duolingo grew was off the back of volunteers and, you know, word of mouth and then the humor around it. And then they've just turned into any other old app out there.
On the internet, more so than usual. So today I want to ask a question. Is Duolingo still numero uno? To find out, I'm going to investigate why Michal and many others are quitting.
Here's the thing. There was a point where Duolingo was all the rage, even though like the big people in the language learning community are like, it's trash, don't use it to learn languages. Like realistically, you could learn it, but you'd use it obviously in conjunction with other things. Like it's not the most efficient method. But there was a point where anyone and everyone who thought about languages thought about Duolingo. I don't hear that anymore.
And I'll also explore some of Duolingo's biggest contenders in the language learning arena. Launched in 2011, Duolingo was the brainchild of Luis von Ahn, the inventor of CAPTCHA, and his PhD student, Severin Hacker.
Yeah, and originally the commercialization idea for Duolingo would be that it would actually work as a translation service. So you'd be given sentences as part of your practice. You would translate them, and those sentences you were given were actually like things that people wanted translated. And then there would be like multiple people all translating this as practice, and then the actual result, the one that, you know, like what's the most common result of that would be what was given to the client, which was kind of a cool idea. And it was based on his whole CAPTCHA system, how it was serving two markets at once. But obviously they couldn't really work that way. And then they moved into like a certificate system where they'll try to become like a certificate authority for, you know, you've completed your language course and stuff like that. I don't know how it went from there, and then after that I kind of lost track of it.
Driven by a mission to make language education free for all,
we decided at the time that we would make a way to learn foreign languages on a mobile phone that was accessible to everyone. And then we called it Duolingo.
The scrappy startup quickly gained fame for its gamified and addictive approach, using streaks.
And I feel like the way it actually the way it got its fame was literally off the back of the volunteers. So what it did is it opened itself up to lots of communities that were traditionally completely ignored. For example, the Esperanto community and other minority languages. And as a result, these people who existed in these communities, they went and built courses, but they didn't just build courses for their own. They promoted it to other minority communities. And basically, that's how it spread. That's why it has things like Klingon and stuff like that. It's not because the market for the Klingon is very big. It's because the people who love that language also know a bunch of other languages, and they are usually people who have, you know, they've got like some, I guess, reach in life because they've done a bunch of other things in Klingon, just like that random thing along the side, and then they would promote it within their language circles that they were talking with different people about, because this is their hobby. It's now on this app, but also you can learn all this other stuff on there. So I feel like the big power of Duolingo was the open community aspect of it, and that's what it lost. It lost that community because it went simply corporate.
Rewards, and the now iconic green owl captivating users worldwide. In 2014, as...
That's actually funny, is if I go back a little bit, you see that owl right there? That is the exact owl, so the 2012 owl is what my costume was built off of.
The now iconic green owl captivating users worldwide. In 2014, as a young, intrepid language learner, I joined Duolingo for the first time to learn German. Duolingo made its revenue at this time by getting users...
I never actually learned a language off Duolingo. I played around a little bit with Klingon.
...to translate text for companies like BuzzFeed and CNN, and later...
Exactly, translation.
...by selling language certifications. It was an idyllic...
Yep. Certifications.
...time of ad-free bliss. Ads became part of the free tier experience of Duolingo in 2015 in an official announcement on the Duolingo community.
And this is probably the point where it actually died off for me, because I feel like this was the time that they also went public, although I may be wrong about that.
Forum, Luis informed users that they were conducting experiments to increase revenue, such as selling a way to repair...
And people were actually okay with them doing advertisements at first, because they didn't want the service to shut down. That was kind of like a fear that, you know, they weren't making money all this time, they would shut down. So people were like, you know what, it's okay if you've got a few ads in there type of thing, you know, maybe at the bottom of the screen or something. We're not against that.
Lost streaks. Some users felt that this move went against Duolingo's original commitment to free education.
Yeah, but the people who thought it would be free forever were just like... silly in one way. But also, obviously, the company shouldn't have been making a promise that this is going to be free forever. So, like, even though they said that this would be free forever, I knew it wouldn't be. I knew they'd have to bring some type of commercialization aspect to this, because you can't just run all of these servers for, like, free unless you're some multi-millionaire type of thing who's just got a lot of money laying around and you just care about this, and those types of people are pretty far in between type of thing. So I knew there would be a commercialization aspect to it eventually, it's just they went too far.
In April 2017, Duolingo launched Duolingo Plus, a premium subscription that offered an ad-free experience and offline access. Shortly after the same year, they released the health system. It was
yeah, so I stopped using it long before this point.
Controversial for many reasons, but particularly because Duolingo Plus subscribers were granted unlimited hearts, whilst users on the free plan were required to practice old lessons to gain more health.
Okay, so they basically adopted gotcha game philosophy. I need to hear a little bit more about this.
The language learning app Duolingo is celebrating a warm welcome.
Duolingo!
On Wall Street.
In July 2021, Duolingo went public on the stock
Okay, so they went public later than I thought. I thought they went before this.
market. This transition...
Oh, but they would have been actually starting that transition beforehand. In order for a company to go public, you need at least 4 years of preparation. So yeah, they would have started long before this, and then that would have been the point at which they started, cutting off access to teachers and stuff.
Raised concerns amongst users about potential shifts in priorities towards
Of course there's going to be shifts in priorities.
profitability rather than user experience.
Get the most advanced language learning yet with Duolingo Max.
By 2024, Duolingo introduced Duolingo Max, yet another premium tier offering features like Explain My Mistake, yet at an even higher cost. Both free and paid users experienced more...
Okay, so I can see why they got rid of the note system, because that's what the note system was in a way. So basically you had notes that would explain the grammar and all that type of stuff, but here they wanted to get rid of it so later on they could bring it back as kind of like Explain My Mistake system.
frequent ads, and frustrations intensified. The same year, Duolingo eliminated the feature allowing free users to earn hearts by completing practice sessions, leading to dissatisfaction amongst the most dedicated of users.
Okay, I just want to quickly read that.
Practice sessions, leading to dissatisfaction.
I use the free version. I just recently upgraded the app, which brought with it the new hell of not being able to practice for hearts. I actually liked having limited hearts because it made me pay more attention to what I was doing. However, since now I can only pay for hearts and not practice, this feels insane from a language learning app, and this makes free Duolingo version practically unusable. Yep, so they've gone fully commercial.
Amongst the most dedicated of users. This was the straw that broke the camel's back for Michal. So, we have our answer as to why people are abandoning their streaks. Duolingo are conducting one big experiment with over 37 million active users every single day in order to test how they can do one thing: grow.
And all through the night it grew. Onward.
Now, people also make a mistake. They think growth is the most important thing. It's not. If you just keep growing and growing and growing and you don't make money, then what's the point as a company? So what they're doing is they're shedding users that they don't need anymore. So they needed a very large user base to grow and get to that point where they could get the whale users. The whale users are those users who are prepared to throw down a lot of money. But in order to get those users, you need to have already reached a lot of people. But once you have a big user base, like a very big one, do you really need all those free users anymore?
And upward.
Duolingo has shifted its focus to growth and profitability, sometimes at the expense of user satisfaction.
And this was always going to happen because they got large investments early on, and those investments need to be paid back.
So some of us leave. It's as simple as that. But here's the good news. We don't need to boycott Duolingo yet. In fact, it's okay if you don't use Duolingo. Duolingo is simply a tool, and we as language learners have many other tools at our
I don't think about boycotting products or anything like that. If I'm not interested or it doesn't do what I need it to do anymore, I just stop using it. It's that simple.
disposal. Firstly, there are many alternative apps. I put a link to a
Oh man, that music's really intense.
list of the best language learning apps in the description of this video. There are both generalist apps like Duolingo, which provide structured learning across multiple languages, and there are language-specific apps which dive deeply into one language. However,
Hey, put down in the comments below your favorite language learning app. I don't really use any anymore, except for just obviously Anki, but that's less of a language learning app and it's more of a memory tool, basically.
However, keep in mind that most
Oh, I do use Pleco, but I only use that for the dictionary aspect.
Most of these apps still operate on a freemium model, just like Duolingo, where they offer basic content for free, but still require a subscription to unlock more advanced lessons or ad-free experiences. While language learning apps are...
Here's the best thing you can do if you want, like, to get the best of both worlds, like you like using these types of apps. Just find them when they're young, join them when they're young, use them when they're young, and once they grow and become profitable, jump ship, there'll be someone else.
Convenient, some of the most effective ways to learn a language go beyond gamified lessons.
I don't know why, but when he was putting on his, like, outfit then, I thought he was, like, getting ready to put on some armor and go into battle or something.
Not all courses come packaged as an app. For example, I use Pimsleur, an audio-based course that builds conversational skills by...
Pimsleur seems to be having a little bit of a comeback at the moment. I've noticed a lot of people talking about Pimsleur, but for years, like, people just stopped talking about it. I like Pimsleur. Their new subscription systems, you know, it's not bad type of thing. It's a pretty good course overall, but obviously you're not going to learn an entire language. It's good for getting, like, started.
Practicing phrases and sentences out loud.
Siamo su tutti al piano di sopra. Dovrei ordinare al bar?
It's perfect for improving pronunciation and building confidence in speaking, especially if you're on the go with your...
Just make sure you learn any unique sounds before you start using Pimsleur, or you will start fossilizing, like, bad pronunciation.
Headphones in. Platforms that connect you with real native speakers are another fantastic option. For example,
I'm wondering actually if any of this video is sponsored. I'm going to check afterwards.
italki connects you with real tutors for
italki actually reached out to me asking if I could do sponsorship for him.
one-on-one lessons. Whether you just want to focus on having a conversation,
For once, it would be nice to speak to someone in my own language, in my own home.
or ask questions about...
That is so relatable sometimes. Like, my family would just be yabbering away in Chinese, and I'll be like, for once, I just want you all to speak Esperanto with me in my own home.
Specific grammatical nuances.
Possiamo anche leggere una storia.
Having a live tutor offers the opportunity for you to converse with a native speaker, which apps like Duolingo struggle to replicate.
Like, there's nothing wrong with using italki or anything like that. Man, your battery's low. You want to sort that out. But I get the feeling this is a sponsorship. I'd need to check. Interesting. I just looked to the website that he linked to, and I actually don't see any sponsorship links. So this guy's being legit.
Eccoti di nuovo. Ciao.
Ciao, Lily. Come va? Another useful tool I use is called Language Reactor. This Chrome extension enhances Netflix, YouTube, and more with dual language subtitles, so you can watch movies and shows to learn a language. You can see the original text alongside the translation, and you can even click on individual words and phrases to get specific meanings. It's a brilliant way to expand your vocabulary and also combine entertainment with education.
Education is the key.
One of the most effective and fun methods of learning a language that I've used is playing video games.
Totally agree. I play World of Warcraft all the time in Chinese.
For example, I've been playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in Italian, and it's honestly...
Oh, I wonder if it's available in Chinese.
Been a game changer. Video games offer a perfect mix of repetition and context. You can often control the pace of the dialogue so you can take time to process and understand the content, and perhaps most importantly, it's engaging. You're motivated to keep going, not just because you're learning, but because you're genuinely having fun.
Totally agree. 100% agree with this statement.
Combine it with the occasional lookup of a word, perhaps using Google Translate, and you have an incredibly rich learning environment. So, what does destiny hold for Duo? What is the next big app or technology for language learners? That is a question I'm still trying.
I don't think anything's going to happen to Duolingo. They'll just exist. They'll continue to grow type of thing. They just won't have that type of fan base, you know, that ardent fan base that they used to have. But they will exist as a company, continue to spread, probably will buy out the competition here and there and merge them in, just like every other big company out there. There's nothing special that's going to happen. They may lose users, but they're probably realistically going to lose the ones that they don't care about because they're not going to pay them anything anyway.
Trying to answer. So if you have any good ideas, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Personally, I hope that Duo's future still looks bright. They've been an innovative company and the app is easy.
Innovation is easy when you're small. When you're a public company, innovation's basically almost non-existent.
effective, and they also have over 40 languages to choose from, and I love languages, hence I'm a paid subscriber. But if they can't steer clear of corporate greed and keep focused on being accessible and sustainable, then potentially
they're probably going to become the EA of the language learning world.
millions of people worldwide might just fall out of love with Duo. And we wouldn't want that, would we?
They don't care unless they lose money.
No!
Whether your time has come to part ways with the owl or not, please just keep finding a path that works for you to learn a language. Subscribe to my channel if you're going to try any new methods, and perhaps by the next time I release a video, you'll be fluent in the language that you're learning.
Well, that'd be a hard call. I'm guessing you release a new video every day. But overall, I'm going to say this was a really good video. Like, I liked it. And he seems like a fully legit guy. What's his channel? So his channel is Rick Barnes. Go check him out, guys. Like, he seems to have done some good stuff here. I might have a quick look what other videos he's got. Yeah, seems like he's got some good videos all about languages. Seems like a pretty good guy. If you guys want to go check him out, go check him out. If there's any videos that you want me to review of his in the future, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. And if you're not there, well, then you will be